Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Nick. I am back. After a couple days of being absent, I'm finally back, and we're here. We're going to continue on working on level 3 of the game Soul 3000. I'm doing the level editing. I do the art and animation. The video that you're seeing right now being played with the green kind of mech suit running around, and the girl and all that's things I designed and created, and it's a culmination of different ideas from my brother Peter and just the general family, and just little ideas we had, and it was just supposed to be a fun game that we played, and something kind of small. So I figured that we will try to take this game that you're seeing right now being played and polish it up a little bit and try to make it as something that you could buy and you could purchase and check it out, and hopefully we can move on to other types of games and artwork, and all in the glory of we want to put make it kind of a little bit Christ centered, put some values and different things in there that you don't see that often right now in the world, and have it be somewhat uplifting, and you could be a little inquisitive about what's going on, different things like that, and at the same time have it action packed and fun, and yeah, this game, we put a few serious themes in there and stuff like that, but it's not like overly serious, it's more arcadey. When I see this, like what's playing right now, it's kind of Metroidy, and kind of Metal Sluggy, in terms of just shooting with a singular gun. So we decided to, I decided, and I say we, my brother and I, we decided, hey, you know what? Let's see, if we can make some money, with what we got here, and put it out there, and other people could check it out. If you're listening to me right now, feel free to comment and check it out. As the text on there says, it says Soul 3000 game development. That's this video, and it's free to play, early access on Steam, and you could check it out on itch.io right now. Go on those two sites and you could download it and check it out for free. You could leave a comment on itch.io or on Steam, or you could join us here when we log in to do these like game design live videos. You could watch the previous ones, because I have it on DVR, so you could check the previous videos, because we're recording the previous videos on YouTube and on Twitch TV. But you could also join us live. You could subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on Twitch, and when we go live, it pops up, and your notifications even sends you an email saying, hey, Heavenlyform is live and they're about to do some game design and that kind of thing. So I'm live here. So we in the past videos we did, we mostly work in Blender, we work in 3D Code, and there's a whole host of other applications that we could work in. We don't have to wait for this countdown. I could actually switch straight to what we're doing right here. So let's just do that. So we primarily like to work on Linux. All right, now you're seeing a Linux desktop right here. That's what this is. And the Linux that we like to use is Linux Mint, but you could use it. Linux has so many different versions. It's so awesome. Whichever one works really best for you, that's the one you should check out. I've used Windows and I have used Mac OS, and they're pretty good in their own right. But for our personal use and for what we're doing here, that we think Linux suits perfectly. And we have Blender, and we're using a newer version. We're trying to use a newer version of the Blender game engine called UpBG, and my brother Peter has been checking that out. And I think in the previous videos, I looked at UpBG and kind of what's going on with it. And those guys, it's so awesome that developers could do such amazing work and put it out there for free, and we're hoping to raise awareness of their work so you could check it out and even help donate to them. Because sometimes on some other projects you could donate in different ways, not just money, but you could donate in some of them code or bug fixes or whatever the developer kind of needs to keep the project going, so everybody could express themselves artistically, right? Those who are interested in expressing themselves has a tool there that they could download. Once they purchase a computer, they could download a tool, and the tool is theirs. Nobody could shut it off on you, and that's part of the free software and open software type thing, right? Open source type thing. So anyways, without further ado, let's just jump right in and see what we could do. So there's a new Blender that came out, so I'm going to check it out. I just updated what I had there with this new Blender. So this is this new Blender. It's Blender 3.1. So apparently they did a lot of like fixes to it. So in this Blender it's a lot faster, and they added some new features. So if we go to the Blender website, let's see. Let me see if I could do that here. This is a new window. And let's go to Blender. Yeah, of course, when you type Blender, that comes up. If you type Blender 3D, it narrows it pretty down to Blender. So this is their website, and on here, if you click what's new, it shows you all the new stuff that's in this Blender, right? There's even a video showing you that what's new in Blender. You can check it out. So if you scroll down here, they talk about pedal to the metal, you know, just general speed increases, right? And I think these are some benchmarks right here that you can download with Blender. So monsters are benchmark, junk shop is a benchmark, classroom is a benchmark. It's a benchmark scene file that you could see the differences. So it's a lot faster with cycles. And I think they say metal is to do with Apple. So people who are on Mac OS, you'll see significant speed increases. Make your point. So I think this here is about being able to render point clouds a lot faster. I won't go into that, but yeah, this is all the there's a build modifier in there, and different ways you could do build animations. Right, more geometry nodes type things, drag and drop search for like for the node editors. Yeah, some more geometry nodes things, yeah, like this. So there's a whole host of like new things here in Blender. Yeah, increase the speed of some nodes here. Yeah, and there's a whole list. If you see all node changes, I mean, come in here and then there's a whole list. So they list out all the updates that they've done, so you could take advantage of all that. So yeah, Blender's a pretty neat. It's like it's becoming the backbone of like 3D right now, as far as I'm concerned. Doing 3D art, on your off time, and you could take all the skills here and you could transfer it into like 3D Studio Max, Maya, Houdini, and a bunch of other software packages like Cinema 4D and stuff, 3D software packages, and see it. So yeah, so this is the ecology that we have to create the game that we have, and so far it's working pretty good. We use the GIMP, which is another awesome tool right here, and this is the GIMP right here. So let's go to the GIMP. Yeah, the GIMP is like a really advanced alternative to like Photoshop. In some ways, GIMP surpasses Photoshop in a few ways, but Photoshop definitely is great. I mean, that's a staple, right? It's even turned into like a verb. Let's Photoshop it. That's what people say. It'd be great if people said, let's GIMP it. I think the GIMP means many different things to different people, right? So, but it's the GNU Image Manipulation Program. That's what it means, GIMP. And of course, GNU is actually what Linux is, because you're actually supposed to say GNU Linux, right? So that's that's the full name of Linux, GNU Linux. And here's the image manipulation program, and you could do some really advanced things in here. You can even do concept art in here, which I've done. graphic design in here, high quality photo editing. It's pretty nice, and it's getting there. And then there's a bunch of other supporting programs you could also use, like Booker, where you could like view different swatches for color theory, and there's Inkscape, which is a vector program like Adobe Illustrator, and I have Inkscape and we use that here. And there's Scribus, which is like a desktop publishing application, kind of like how you would have InDesign or Quark Express back in the days and stuff like that. So Scribus does. So you could write a book and lay out pictures and lay out magazines in it. So yeah, so this is, I've used all these programs and they're awesome, and they're a little bit different than their paid for counterparts, and all this is free. So, you could check them out and have fun. There's so many different things that's coming out to express yourself artistically on the computer, right? And it's still good to have, some of those traditional skills like pulling out a piece of paper and being able to draw and color on paper. I believe that stuff is still good, because if electricity goes off and you have no more electricity, let's just say, and you want to create an image and you have it in your head, or you're out somewhere where electricity is not available, like in a park or something, and you have an idea and you don't have a phone with you or whatever it is. All these things need electricity, right? And if the battery dies or there's no electricity, you could still have a piece of paper that doesn't need electricity and a pencil. All it needs the paper has to be blank, and the pencil has to have lead, and you could just draw. Sketch your ideas down. And if you have color pencils and paints and stuff, you could color it, and so on and so forth. So I think analog skills, because we live in an analog world, right? You cannot eat a hashtag. And I've heard that. As nice as computer stuff is, we have a physical body, we live in a physical world, and that's just the nature of reality. And for some people, the computer is a revolutionary thing, and for others, because they've been kind of looking into it from the ground up since the 90s, and some people since the 70s and 60s, the computer is just another tool, right? It's another tool to do different things. It's not the most important thing in the world, although some people might try to make it sound like that. The most important thing in the entire world, and because we're a Christian, I'm a Christian and we're a Christian company, is the relationships you make with the people, and serving God, and following Jesus and obeying him, his words. That's the most important thing to us. So all these other things are just pretty cool inventions, and in the future there'll be other cooler inventions in this world or the next, right? So anyways, that's enough of me rambling. Let's get to doing the level. You see, this is what happens when there's nobody typing in the chat, steering the conversation. I just talk kind of, expressive thoughts in my head. Alright, see enough long talk. Let's get into it here. So, this is where we left last. Actually, I'm in another section of the level, and I wanted to come into this section right here. Let's see what this is about. So, actually, this is what this is about. Nope, let's not do it like that. Let's do it like this. Okay, so in the game, the character will be entering like this. So before I kind of like figure out, how I'm gonna actually work on this space, I actually like to do like a little bit of a walkthrough. Kind of look and see what's going on. It's always good to have concept art, and you could do rough blockouts, and you could like take a screenshot and then go into the GIMP and you could flesh it out, and make concept art to kind of inform the design of the space. And that's a better way of doing this sort of stuff. So I'm going to introduce an element here that we've used, and we made last time we made a nice lamppost, and I'm actually going to bring it in and use that. So from the last part, from the last project, see the pen. Collections, see lamppost. Okay, so we brought some lampposts in here. All we really need is one. We don't need all these, but this is what was laid out. And I think what it did, it brought in, yeah, it brought in this root. So I'll get rid of that. This guy actually supposed to be. It's a parent right here. Okay. I'm gonna grab. Okay. I'm gonna use this to lay out to light the scene like a street. As you can see, the ceiling is lower than this, and that's not a problem. It's just a Z wireframe. What I see solid. Just grab. Let's do something like that. We're just laying out for now, guys. We're not getting too nuts on it. I think I want to do a rail here. Let's just center even more on that. So what we could do for now, we could hide the walls and we could hide the ceiling. And we could just deal with the floor, the layout of the floor here. So what you can see. 90. What I could do, I could duplicate this. So you don't want to duplicate it, just straight duplicate. Maybe you want to make an instance. Grab an X. Oh, right up 5. Just go to top view. Let's go wireframe. Maybe even better, we can make an array. Just evenly spaced here. Let's go make an array of this array. Okay, let's duplicate that. Let's do that a couple times. And let's duplicate this. So let's bring this right in the middle like so. Can I lessen the array? Yep. And let's just rotate Z to 180. It's a little bit like this. Let's take a look and see what we got here. Yeah, I'm liking that. It gives it some sort of importance. So. And what we could do is to add some railings here. And there's a lot more that could happen in this. I mean, this is very basic. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see if I could add a little more modeling flair to this. It's not really saying what is what. Let's do something like this. Let's do something like that. Okay, that should be fine. Let's see how this works out. If we do a bevel, not bad. I think that's actually pretty good like as is. But let's go halfway at the Okay, now I'm gonna just merge this in here. So there's like a little bit of a scoop going on, and let's merge this here. Yep, so there's a little bit of a, okay. And yeah, let's merge this over here too. Oh, not bad. Do that again. Okay, so there's something happening there. I don't like how that ended there, so I'm going to go for G. Huh, it's actually, oh, it needs to have that edge there in order to get the nice scoop going down. So let's see what we got. Let's do a Z, bring that guy up to this. Let's bring this guy back. Yup. That's clean there. Okay. I'm liking the kind of scooped edge. That's not bad. And I know here is supposed to actually be some conduit pipe. So we got. Let's start bringing like pieces that we know that we want this stuff to be. So I'm gonna actually get rid of this edge here and see if we could get our conduit pipe running along there. Let's just do P, separate that guy. Alright, and start to separate things. How do we want this? Do we want this scooped up and then be set inside of there? Yeah, let's start separating pieces. So I'm thinking something like this. Like this is a separate piece, like so. And yeah, separate from there. And this is separate. And even this is separate. So let's just expand it and just get rid of the excess. So anything that I'm thinking that is like a separate material or element, quote unquote. I'm just separating that out so we can add some interest to what it is we're doing here. Maybe this is all part of the same thing and it cuts off right there. Let's see. Yeah, this should be part of the same. So I'm just going through and just looking. Okay, so that runs there like that. That's fine. And you know what? Let's select this here too. It's very basic, but you know, we're trying to get some level of differences here. And this is a separate deal, right? So separate that. So these are the pieces, right? So we just need, like, I think along these pieces I'm gonna put a rail. Yeah, like some railing. So let's go grab some rail from another thing. When you're doing level design, it's good to reuse like pieces, and then you can like build a level in the engine on these pieces. But this is like the general layout, right? So we gotta move pretty quick with this stuff, but we gotta almost like lay everything back out in a somewhat sensible way after the fact. Okay, so let's see here. Like this scoop element almost wants to be completely part of this top part here, like a skirt. But how would it? Let's see. No, I think I like the fact that it feels like the road is running up like that. Yeah, I think that's fine. Just like that. What if we should come along the edge like so? This will be again. Let's do something like this and then just roll that. Let's look for equal parts. So if I do something like that with that, I think that's pretty neat. So let's see if we smooth shade that, and then if we let's go something like this. Let's really take a look at what's happening here. Okay. Oh. Let's do something like that. Okay. Just inspecting the geometry here a little bit. I like that scooped effect. I think it's pretty neat. Let's go last here. Let's come back here and do that. Or maybe we could come over here. Let's see that. And it goes out, so okay, let's fix this part here too. 2, 3. Okay. Maybe this comes into here. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. Got that going on here. Let's take a real close look at this part here. I think that's fine. Maybe these parts here come right over here. So you probably could do a lot of like stuff all up through here, right? So I mean, like while the getting's good, you know, you should probably just go ahead and get it. I'm sorry, that song's really strange, right? But I'm thinking like, you know, while you know I could actually have, you know, the ideas of doing things a certain way. Maybe I should just do it, you know, while I'm in here. We haven't even gotten our railings yet, guys. So hopefully we'll get to that point at some before the stream ends. Sometime during the stream. So let's see. Do we want a rolled edge like that? I'm thinking we do. So I'm thinking like we want a B, and you know, just like one. What size is this? I have to look. Come on, Blender, where are you? Okay, profile. Oh, width. Okay, so the width is 0.01. Okay, let's see. 0.01. That's not too bad. Okay. We could definitely fix whatever like anomalies is happening over here. Put that back here and bring this guy back over here. Okay, so see how we have that part right there? I want to keep this edge like this, so I'm gonna have, I think I'll just build a polygon right here, and this is cool with Blender how you could just do stuff like this so easily, like that. In Max you kind of could, but you know, it's not as you know, it's a little more taut when you're doing it in 3 Studio Max, you know, than just doing it, you know, within the same kind of mode. You have to switch modes and stuff in Max. So I think, remember, the bevel is 0.01, so if I do a bevel again and put 0.01, get the same bevel. Yep, but that has to stay like that in order to keep the beveled edge. That's fine, you know, as long as we, let's do this edge too. Oh, let's see. Okay, I know something was broken somewhere. That's why I didn't do it the first time. Let's grab that. Right here, like so. Okay. And you know, you don't have to necessarily, you could select the points along the edge, and you could still do bevel. You know, make sure I'm hit like that. 0.01. You could do stuff like that in Blender. That's what I like Blender for. It's very versatile. Let's see, grab. You don't necessarily have to switch to edge mode in order to do that. So that's a pretty cool thing. And keep it nimble, keep it fast. I think a lot of concept artists and a lot of just hard surface artists use Blender because of just how trivial, you know, it makes doing basic polymodeling very trivial. And trivial meaning that, you know, without too much fuss. And you know, that's pretty good. Got an extra edges around people that we don't need. At least I don't think so. Okay. Normally I would go in and straighten up all these little edges and all that, but I'll leave it. It's fine. It's a game. You know, if there's any issues, you know, get back to it. Just want to lay this stuff out real quick. One time you add like a little edge, it gives things a little bit more weight. You know, and that's the point there. I wanted, you know, some weight there. These could stay like that. That's fine. Really loving these. Okay, so let's go get our rails. Without further ado. So I'm going in here. Let's see. Huh. Let's append some rails. Can we find some rails in here? So there's no rails up in here. Floor. Okay. Let's go into level 3. See if we have any rails up in here in collections. Sports. There's probably rails up in here, but it's not like in a collections for rails. So I'll just go object. Let's look at all the objects. Elemental PQRS. See railing low res. And this guy. So we now have a railing. Here he is. I think this railing is textured, right? So if we go into like this mode here. Yep. Textured, which is great. And let's see what it, okay, so he's just floating out there, right? So what we actually wanted this to be an entry 2. It doesn't have to be an entry 2. Let's just make a new thing called railings, new collection, which it should have been in anyway. But what we do want is for it to be the parent of this guy. I don't want it to be a parent. Just being parented. Okay, and lampposts. Let's just put this in the main collection, that's fine. So we have lamppost, railings, entryway. Is lamppost parented? Yeah, they're parented, so let's go back into railings and let's Let's just put this over the origin. Okay, it's better. Bring the screen cursor over. Okay. So what we need to do, let me see what's the render. It's still Eevee, right? That's what we have on here. So I'm gonna hit ambient occlusion, turn my see what the world is. Yeah, the world is that. Let's bring this a little bit darker. And let's ambient occlusion. I'm going to viewport sampling.
According to St. Mark, chapter 1. The beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God,
Okay.
as it is written in the prophets, behold,
Scene
I send
lighting.
my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee.
World lighting, so that's a world lighting.
In the wilderness, prepare ye the
No
way
scene
of the
lights,
Lord,
no
make
world
his
lights
paths straight.
combined.
John did baptize in the
Ambient
wilderness.
occlusion. Let's take a look into the ambient occlusion. If we turn that off, there's none. If we turn it on, there's some. But what we want, you know, we want it kind of lay it a little thicker. Let's go 15. That's fine. Factor, trace precision. I'm just going to turn that all the way up. Event normals is fine. Bounce approximation. That should be fine. Let's do screen reflection. That's fine. All these are kind of performance type things, you know, for this mode here. So let's see what the I just kind of want to make sure if we switch over to the textures, we get a good texture. Okay, so that's diffuse lighting. Okay, so let's go like combine. All right, so from here, let's grab. Okay, let's go into this nice colored mode here. Okay, so we got that here. And what we want to do is just want the railings along this. I'm just going to pull curves out of these sections right here to get my curves. I'm going to pull curves to get my curves. Okay, so let's see. Just want to do something like that. Oh yeah, so that was actually controlling the... Okay, so this is why that's important. Okay, so I'm just going to come here and just grab some of these. Right? Like that. Some of those edges and make those into the guide splines for the rail. Okay.
Straightway he called them, and they left their father Zebedee in the ship with the hired servants, and went after him. And they went into Capernaum.
Okay, dokes.
On the Sabbath day, he entered into the synagogue and
I'll select that guy.
they were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one
here,
that had authority,
here.
and not as the scribes. And there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying,
Here and then
Let
here.
us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? Art thou come to
Let's extract, duplicate that, and separate the parent. Right, and then you can select these, and you can like make these into individual splines, right? So if you go P, you could go like loose parts, right? And then make all those into individual guide splines. Where are these individual guide splines? I think because their name is... So let's control Z back until we get them again. Okay, so that's what they all are. And I'm going to control F2. I'm going to set a new name. New. Call it guide splines. Guide spline. And then it's okay, and just name all those guide spline. We don't need them up in this. Let's put them out, pull them out of the collection into the main collection right here. So here's our guide splines. Let's clear parents also. Clear parent, keep transform, and let's just let's go Control A on that. Scale rotation on those. And what we could also do, we could convert these into splines by, you know, I have the convert command and as Alt C in here, so I want it to be spline. So right, so all those are splines now. This is my first guide spline for the rail. Let's press tab and see what we got here. So I don't need that extra point there, so I'm just going to hit delete for the C. It's going to be this, and I don't need this extra one, delete. It's
If
going
thou
to be from
wilt,
here to
thou
here,
canst make
here to
me
here.
clean. And Jesus,
That's it.
moved with compassion, put forth his hand,
Let's
and
select
touched him,
that,
and
right
saith
click.
unto
Let's
him,
see.
I will, be thou clean. And
Set
as soon
goal
as he had
weight,
spoken,
set current
immediately the
radius,
leprosy
recalculate
departed from him,
handles.
and he was cleansed. And he straightly charged
Let's
him
see
with
what we
forthwith
got here.
to send him
Subdivide,
away,
extrude,
and saith unto him,
make segment,
See thou
add
say
duplicate.
nothing to any man, but go thy way, shew thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing those things which Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. But he went out and departed
I'm just
not
going
too
through and
much,
checking through
and to
some of these
blaze
things.
abroad the matter,
Switch
insomuch that Jesus could no
direction,
more
all
openly enter
sorts of
into the city,
things.
but was without in desert places. And they came to
Recalculate
him,
handles, set
and again
goal
he entered
weight, set
into
curve,
Capernaum after some
radius.
days, and it was
Okay.
noised that he was in the house. And straightway many were gathered together, insomuch that there was no room to receive them, no, not so
See
much as
item.
about the door.
Okay, you said
And he
weight,
preached the word
radius,
unto them.
some
And they come
properties.
unto him, bringing one sick of the
Okay.
palsy, which was
We
borne
don't
of
have a
four.
tool, we just have an item
And when they
selected.
could not
Okay, so
come
let's leave
nigh
that
unto
up
him for
there.
the press, they
And
uncovered the
we
roof of
also
the
have some more
house.
spline
And when they had
controls up
broken
in
it up,
here.
they let down the bed wherein the sick
Calculate
of the palsy
handles,
lay.
hooks,
And when Jesus saw their faith, he said
segment,
unto the
switch
sick of the palsy,
directions,
Son, thy sins be forgiven thee.
transform.
But there were certain of the scribes sitting there, and reasoning in their hearts, Why doth this man thus speak blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God only?
Yeah, it's going to curve
And
here.
immediately when Jesus perceived in his spirit that they so reasoned within themselves, he
Show
said unto
hide,
them, Why reason ye
reveal
these
hidden.
things in your hearts? Whether is it
Okay,
easier to
so
say to
I
the
think we're
sick of
good
the
to go
palsy,
here.
Thy sins be
Let's just
forgiven thee, or
bring
say,
this
Arise and take up thy bed and walk?
center point of the curve
But
over
that
here.
ye
So
may
I'm gonna
know
go
that the Son of Man hath power on
cursor to
earth to forgive
selected,
sins, he saith
right,
to the
and
sick of the palsy, I say unto
and
thee,
go in
Arise,
object
and
mode,
take up
bring the
thy
center
bed,
of
and
the
go
curve
thy
like
way
right
into thine
there.
house. And immediately he arose, took up the
Oops,
bed, and went forth before them
Control
all,
Z.
insomuch that they were all amazed, and
Okay, in the
glorified
center of the
God,
curve right
saying,
there,
We never saw it in
and
this
do
fashion.
another
And he went forth
scale
again by
rotate
the sea
apply,
shore, and
and the
all the
center of this is
multitude
right
was hearkened
here.
unto him.
So I'm gonna let the curve
And as he passed
dictate
by, he saw Levi the son of
interfere with
Alphaeus
this. So let's
sitting at the
go
receipt of custom, and said
interface with
unto him,
this.
Follow me.
So we're gonna
And he
add
arose
a.
and followed
So
him.
we already have an
And it came
array
to
on
pass
here.
that as
That's fine.
Jesus sat at meat
And
in
what we're gonna do is
Jerusalem,
add a
many
curve
publicans and
on here,
sinners
and we're
sat
gonna
down
just select
together
this
with
curve right
Jesus
here.
and his disciples, for there were many
Can't
that would
select it. You
follow
can just
him.
go right here and those
And when the
guide.
scribes and Pharisees saw
It's
him
actually
eat with
guide
publicans and
line one.
sinners, they said unto his disciples, How
This
is
it
it that
came
he
over here.
eateth and
So that's
drinketh with
because this
publicans
is
and
considering
sinners?
this point here to
And
be
when Jesus
first. I'm
heard it,
thinking.
he saith unto them, They
Let's see
that
if we
are
could
whole
find
have no need of the
to make
physician,
this first.
but they that are sick.
Oh, let's go
I
guide
came not to
line.
call the righteous, but sinners to
Okay,
repentance.
let's see.
And the disciples of John and the Pharisees
Right
used
click.
to fast. And they come and say unto him, Why do the disciples of John and of the
Switch
Pharisees fast,
direction.
but thy disciples fast not?
We do switch
And
direction.
Jesus said unto them, Can the
Okay,
children
so
of the
now
bride
this is
chamber
first.
fast, while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have
And
the
actually, you
bridegroom
should
with
be
them,
able to
they
see like the
cannot fast. But the days
directional
will come when the bridegroom
thing
shall
goes
be
on
taken
here. But
away
let's
from
see
them.
what we got here.
Then shall they
X
fast in those days.
or minus
No man
X.
also seweth a
Okay,
piece of
see
new
what's
cloth on
happening
an
there?
old garment,
Let's go
else the
Y.
new piece that filled it up taketh
Let's
away
go
from the old, and
minus
the rent
Y.
is made worse. And no
Let's
man
stick with
putteth new
X. Let's
wine into old
rotate
wine,
Z.
else the new wine doth burst the bottles, and the wine is
Yep,
spilled,
that's
and
what
the
we
bottles
want.
will be marred.
So let's go to the
New
tippy
wine
top
must be put into new
and take a
bottles.
look.
And it came to pass that he went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day, and his disciples began as they went to pluck the ears of corn. And the Pharisees said unto him,
Let's
Behold,
go tab
why
again.
do
Let's
they
take a
on the
look
Sabbath day that
exactly
which is
what
not
this is.
lawful? And he
Okay,
said
so now
unto them,
that's on the right
Have
track.
ye never read what David did when he had need, and was an hunger, he and they that were with him? How he
Right.
went into the house of God in the days of Abiathar the high priest, and did eat the
Let
shewbread,
me just
which
lining
is
this
not
up
lawful to
somewhat.
eat but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him. And he
Okay,
said unto them, The Sabbath was made for
let's
men,
see.
and
Let's
not man
rotate.
for the Sabbath. Therefore the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which
Just a
had a
little
withered
bit
hand.
of adjustment like that.
And whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. And he saith unto the man which had the withered hand, Stand forth. And he saith unto them,
Yeah, looks
Is it
fine.
lawful to do good on the
Okay,
Sabbath
so I
day,
definitely
or
want
to do
this
evil,
part,
to
the
save life,
part
or
here
to
to
kill?
come out to be
But
the
they know
profile of
not.
this to be like that. So
And when he had
that's
looked
working
round
out.
about on them with
So
anger,
if we
and grieved
apply
for the
more
hardness of their
array,
hearts, he
let's take a
saith
look
unto the
and see
man,
what we got.
Stretch forth thine hand.
Apply
And he
more
stretched it
array.
out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. And the The Pharisees went forth
I'm
and
liking
straightway
that.
took counsel with
Let's
the
add one more.
Herodians against him, how they might destroy him.
No way,
But Jesus withdrew himself with his disciples to
like
the
so.
sea. And a
Okay,
great multitude from Galilee
this is
followed
fully
him,
arrayed
and from
across.
Judea, and from Jerusalem, and from Idumea, and from beyond Jordan. And they
Okay,
about Tyre and
so
Sidon,
this
a
is
great
right on
multitude,
the
when they had
edge.
heard what great things he did, came unto him. And he spake to his disciples that a small ship should wait on him because of the multitude, lest they should throng him. For he had healed many, insomuch that they
Let's
pressed upon him
take a
for to
top
touch
view
him,
look
as
at
many
this.
as had
And
plagues.
I'm going to go right here
The
and I'm
unclean
going to
spirits, when they
R
saw
and I'm
him,
just going to
fell down
rotate
before him and cried, saying,
until
Thou
this
art
hits
the
like
Son
the
of God.
definite edge of that
And he
spline.
straightly charged them that they should not make him known.
And let's just
And he
inspect
goeth
it
up
all
into a
throughout.
mountain, and
Yeah, so
calleth
that's
unto
hitting the
him whom
definite
he
edge of
would.
the
And
spline.
they came unto
So
him.
now if
And
we,
he ordained 12,
what we could have
that they
done
should be
too
his
is like to
apostles, that he
inset
might
this,
send
and
them
then
out
that's how
to
a
preach
real
the
system
gospel,
actually
and have
works.
power to
Like it,
heal sicknesses.
there's like
And cast
a
out
lip
devils.
on here,
And Simon,
and the
whose
rail
name
is
was
not
Peter,
on the edge; it's
and
on the
James
lip,
the son
right?
of
So
Zebedee, and John the
we
brother
could
of
do
James,
that too. That's
and
not a
they
problem.
came
Let's do that.
Boanerges, which is the sons of thunder.
So we're kind of doing it over, but
And
this is how it goes
and
sometimes.
Matthew and Thomas, and James the son of Alphaeus, and
We could do
Thaddeus,
something like
and
this.
Simon the Canaanite, and
Let's
Judas
go.
Iscariot,
And I
whom
think
he
I'm gonna
loved
leave
betrayed him.
the
And they went
yeah,
into a
I'm gonna
house.
leave it
And the
in here.
multitude
So
came up together
let's
against him,
go
so that they could
more
not
like
so much as eat
architectural
bread.
planning on this. So I think it's
And he
something like that.
remonstrated,
And then
and went
do
out
either
to
put the
lay
reel
hold
like
of them.
directly down the
For they said,
center of
He is
this
beside himself.
bridge
And the
here,
scribes which came down from Jerusalem
and
said,
they'll move the
He
lights
hath
back or something because you
Beelzebub,
have to
and
access
by
the
the prince
light.
of
So they'll
devils
bring it like
casteth he
this,
out
probably
devils.
like about so.
And he called them
They
unto
wouldn't put
him,
so
and
much
said
lip in the
unto them
rail.
in
They might bring
parables,
it as close to the edge
Something
as they
Satan
can
cast out
because
Satan.
they're trying to make it look
And if a kingdom be
futuristic
divided
also,
against
right?
itself, that
In the
kingdom
future, they could
cannot
do
stand.
they could be like
And if a
like
house be
really
divided
precise with this
against
stuff,
itself, that house cannot
right?
stand.
So
And if Satan
so
rise up
this
against
edge here,
himself, and be
right?
divided,
So
he
actually,
cannot
what we
stand,
need to
but
do is
that
know how much we
condemneth.
inset. So
No
I'm
man
gonna
can enter into
do
a
that
strong
over.
man's house,
I'm gonna look
and
at my
spoil his
inset
goods,
value.
except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
Okay, so the
Verily I say unto
thickness.
you,
So it's
all
inset
sin shall be
thickness
forgiven unto the sons of men, and blasphemies
0.01.
wherewith soever they shall blaspheme. But he that shall
I think that's
blaspheme
good.
against
So
the
let's do
Holy
that
Ghost
again.
hath
I
no
for inset
forgiveness, but is
0.01.
in danger of eternal
And
damnation.
that's what, yeah, that'll
Jesus
work.
said, It happened unto him.
Everywhere that we have a reel, let's do that.
There came then his
And we're
brethren
gonna
and
do
his
this
mother,
over.
and standing without sent unto him, calling him. And the multitude sat about him, and they said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren without seek for thee. And he answered them, saying,
This is basically the
Who is
tops
my
of these
mother
things
or
right
my
here.
brethren? And he looked
So
round
I'm
about
going I
them which sat about him, and said,
0.01.
Behold my mother and my
Like
brethren.
so.
For whosoever shall do the will of God, the same is my brother, and my sister, and my mother. And he
Let's
began
check this
again
guy
to
out.
teach
That's
by the
fine.
seaside. And
Let's
there
do
was
this other
gathered
guy
unto
over
him a
here.
great multitude, so that he entered into a ship, and sat in the sea, and the whole multitude by
0.01.
the sea on the land.
Yeah, let's leave that
And he taught
selected.
them many things
There.
by parables,
Do the
and
same
said unto
thing.
them in his doctrine, Marvel not.
0.01.
Behold, there went
Let's leave that
out a
selected.
sower
Okay.
to sow. And it
So
came to pass, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. And some fell on
what we
stony
actually
ground,
want is
where
this
it had
edge
not
to be
much
all the
root,
way up.
and immediately
This
it
edge
sprang
here.
up, because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was
Right,
up,
we
it was
don't
scorched,
actually want
because it
this
had no
line
root, it withered away. And
cutting
some
all the
fell
way
among
through.
thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no
At
fruit.
least I don't.
And
So let's do
other
that.
fell on good ground, and
Let's see
did
what happens.
yield
It gets
fruit,
rid of
and
that. So
sprang up
what we
and
have to do is
increased,
control.
and brought forth some 30, and some
Okay,
60,
so
and some
control X.
100.
Just hit X and let's go
And he
dissolve
said
edge.
unto them, He that hath
Oh,
ears to hear, let him hear.
X and
And
dissolve
when he
edge
was alone,
only.
they that were about him with the 12 asked of him
Only
a parable.
faces, only edge
And he said
and
unto them,
faces.
Unto
No.
you it is given to know the mystery of the
X.
kingdom of
Dissolve
God,
edges.
but unto them that are
Okay.
without all these things are done in parables, that
So
seeing they
dissolve
may
the
see
edge,
and not
only
perceive,
edge.
hearing they may
But you see
hear
what happened
and
here?
not
Get rid of that
understand,
extra
lest
piece
at
right
any
there.
time
So
they should
what we
be
could do,
converted, and their sins should be forgiven them.
right?
And
This
he
is
said
another
unto
thing we
them,
could do. You could
Know
select
ye
this
not this parable?
edge here,
And how then will ye know all
X,
parables?
and then you could
The
get rid of that
sower
face.
soweth the word.
Right?
And these are they by the wayside, where the
So
word is sown.
let's
But
go.
when they have heard, Satan cometh
This is
immediately, and taketh away the word
get rid of
that
that
was sown in
face,
their hearts.
face,
These are they likewise
and you
which
can
are
select
sown
this
on
whole edge
stony
and just bring it
ground,
in
who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness,
like so.
and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of
Oops.
riches, and the lusts of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh
Grab.
unfruitful. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word, and receive it,
Okay.
and bring forth fruit.
And let's
Some
restricting it
30-fold,
to
some
one
60,
axis, and then I
some
bring it
100.
all the way up, so we just have a
He
nice
said unto
clean
them,
thing. But it's not
Is a candle
like
burnt
directly
to
connected to
under
here
a bushel, or under
because
a
of
bed,
this
and not
edge here,
set
but
in
that's
a
fine. We'll deal with that later.
For there is nothing hid which shall not be
And you
known,
could do that all throughout.
neither
But
was
let's
anything
just
kept
deal with
secret,
this
but
one
that it should come
here
abroad.
at a time.
If any man have
So we
ears
could get rid of all
to
these
hear,
guidelines.
let
That's
him
fine.
hear. And he said unto them,
We know how to
Take
do them
heed
now,
what
right?
ye
So
hear, with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you. And unto you that hear shall more be given, for he that hath, to him shall be given, and he that hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he hath. And he said, So is the kingdom of God, as if a man should cast seed into
okay,
the
so
ground,
that.
and should sleep, and rise night and day, and the
Okay,
seed should
now
spring and
so
grow up, he knoweth not how.
convert
For the
that.
earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full corn in the ear. But when the fruit is brought forth, immediately he putteth in the sickle, because the harvest is come. And he said, Whereunto shall we liken the kingdom of God? Or with what comparison shall we compare it? It is like a grain of mustard seed, which, when it is sown in the earth, is less than all the seeds that be in the earth. But when it is sown, it
Okay,
groweth up,
so we got
and
this
becometh
thing here.
greater
Let's
than
convert
all
this
herbs,
to
and shooteth out great branches, so that the fowls
let's
of the
convert it
air may lodge
to a
under
curve.
the shadow of it.
And let's
With many such parables spake he the word unto them,
curve.
as they were
Let's
able
bring
to
the
hear it.
cursor over here
But without a parable spake he
and
not
make
unto
this
them.
the
When they were alone, he expounded all
the
things to
center.
his disciples. And the same day, when the even was come, he saith
And
unto
let's
them,
add this to
Let us
this.
pass over unto
So
the other side. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship. And there were also with him other little ships. And there arose
let's
a
move
great
this
storm
to
of wind, and the waves beat
the
into the
main
ship, so that
collection.
it was now full. He was in the hinder part of the
Guide.
ship, asleep on a pillar. And they awake him, and say unto him,
And this
Master, carest thou
there's a
not that
curve
we
here. Let's
perish?
add the guide
And
that
he
we just
arose,
made.
and rebuked the
That's
wind,
the
and
curve.
said unto
Okay.
the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a
And
great
even
calm.
before you do that,
And
let's
he said
just
unto them, Why are ye so
go see.
fearful? How
Let's
is
just
it that
bring this
ye
guy
have
right
no
here
faith?
on the
And
curve.
they feared exceedingly, and
And
said
you know
one
we could do,
another,
we could just rotate him
What
into
manner of man
into
is
the
this, that even the
um,
wind and the sea obey him?
direction of the
And they
curve. So
came
let's
over
just
unto the
rotate
other
that
side of
while
the
we're
sea,
here,
into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was
like
come
so.
out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit,
Let's do something like
who had
that.
his
Let's see what we
dwelling
got.
in the tombs. And no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because that he had been
Okay.
often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither
Yep,
could
because
any
that
man
over
loose
there
him.
again.
And
So we
all
want to
those
reverse
night
the
and
actions
day he was in the mountains, and in the
on the
tombs,
spline.
crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped him, and cried with a loud voice, and said,
Try
What
click
have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou
switch
unclean
direction.
spirit. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding.
Okay, I'm gonna do
And all the
X.
devils besought him, saying, Send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. And forthwith Jesus gave them leave. And the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000, and were choked in the sea. And they that fed the swine fled and told it in the city and in the
Yeah,
country.
it's probably like a
And they
180,
went out
right?
to see what
So
it was that was
let's see.
done. And they came to Jesus, and see him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legion, sitting and clothed, and in his right mind. And they were afraid. And they that saw it told them how it
Okay.
befell to him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coasts. And when he was come into the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him.
Well, let's
Howbeit
see.
Jesus suffered him not, but saith unto him, Go home to thy friends,
Let's do a
and
little
tell
bit
them how
more
great
like
things the
so.
Lord hath done
Yeah, I think
for
that's
thee,
fine.
and hath had compassion
Okay.
on thee.
So yeah, I think that's working. So the only thing left to do is to move these into place.
All
So
men did marvel. And when Jesus was passed over
let's
again
see.
by ship unto the other side, much people gathered unto
Let's
him,
grab
and he was
X.
nigh
Let's move
unto
this
the
out of
sea.
the way.
And behold, there cometh one
Let's
of
talk
the
about
rulers
so.
of the synagogue, Jairus by name. And
Mm-hmm.
when he saw him, he fell at his feet, and besought him greatly, saying, My little daughter
Alright,
lieth at the
so
point of
because
death.
I have
I
this,
pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, and
let's
she
view
shall
that
live.
like so.
And Jesus went with him, and much
And
people followed him and thronged him.
I'm gonna
And a certain woman which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had,
select all
and
that
was nothing bettered,
scale.
but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment.
Oh,
For she said, If I may touch but his
scale.
clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press, and said,
See,
Who
so
touched
that's
my
turned
clothes?
like that.
And his disciples said unto him,
You
Thou
know what? That's
seest
not
the
bad. I think I
multitude
can live with
thronging
that.
thee,
Okay,
and
so that's
sayest thou,
cool for
Who
now.
touched me?
You know, we could always
And
adjust
looked
later.
around about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him,
Or we
and
could
told
just
him
do
all the
this
truth.
while we're in here.
And he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace, be whole of thy plague. While he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house certain which said, Thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the master any further? As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he saith unto the ruler of the synagogue, Be not afraid, only believe. And he suffered no man to follow him, save Peter, and James, and John the brother of James. And he cometh to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and seeth the tumult, and them
Okay.
that wept and wailed greatly.
So yeah, so I just want to make sure like the corners are kind of making
Why
sense
make
to some
ye this
degree.
ado, and weep?
So this is
The
cool.
damsel is
You
not
know,
dead, but
this
sleepeth.
is working, and let's move
They
on to
laughed
the other
her to
one.
scorn. But when he had put them all out, he taketh the
Let's go
father
this one.
and the mother of the damsel, and them that were with him, and
We
entereth
could do the
into the
same kind of
house that was
edge
by him.
cleanup,
He took the
and
damsel
you know,
by the
there's different
hand,
ways to do it.
and
You
said
could do
unto
like something
her,
like this.
Talitha cuma,
Let's grab.
which is,
Let's
being
do something like
interpreted,
that.
Damsel, I say unto
And
thee, arise. And straightway the damsel arose and walked, for
let's
she was
undo
of the
that.
age of 12 years.
Let's come here
They
and
were
let's like
astonished with a
delete this
great
face.
astonishment. And he charged them straitly that no man
Okay.
should know it,
Let's grab
commanded
this.
that something should be given her. And he
Right.
went out from thence, and came
Let's
into his
snap it
own
onto
country,
there.
and his
So what I'm gonna
disciples
do
followed
here,
him. When the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue. And many hearing him were
like
astonished,
so.
saying, From whence hath this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joses, and of Judah and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us?
Yeah,
They
we
were
just brought that
offended.
up to the edge. You know, we could always go in
Jesus said
wireframe
unto
and
them,
see
A prophet
how
is
that
not
lines
without
up with
home,
everything
but in his
else.
own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house. And he could there do no mighty work, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk and healed them.
I'm
They
bringing in the
marveled
ceiling
because
just to
their
make sure
unbelief.
that
And he went
this
round
edges
about the
were
villages
all the way
teaching.
lined up.
And he called unto him the
Like
12,
so.
and began to send them forth by two and two,
Yeah, you could use
and gave
other
them power over
pieces
unclean
of geometry
spirits,
as like
and
templates for
commanded them that
things.
they should take nothing for their journey, save a staff only, no
Slide the
scrip,
ceiling
no
again.
bread, no money
Okay,
in their
and what
purse.
I'm gonna do
Not be shod with sandals, and not
is
put on
to
two
let's bring the
coats.
walls in.
And he said unto them,
If we have the walls, we could
What place
definitely
soever
snap to
ye
this like
enter
really
into an
quickly.
house, there
So I'm just
abide
gonna like
till ye
merge
depart
these
from
in
that place.
last.
And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear you, when ye depart thence, shake off the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. Verily I say unto you,
I'm just
it
doing the
shall be
ones up to
more
the. I mean, we
tolerable
could
for
leave an
Sodom and
edge
Gomorrah in the day
onto the
of
walls like
judgment
a seam,
than
but
for that city. And they went out and
I
preached that men should repent.
I
They
don't want
cast
to
out
was
many
yet.
devils, and anointed with oil many that were sick, and healed them.
Alright, and
And
then
King
for this
Herod
part
heard of
here,
him, for his name
get
was
rid
spread
of this
abroad.
face.
And he said that John the Baptist was risen from the dead, and Therefore mighty works did shew forth themselves in him.
And I want to bring
Others
this
said
point
that it is
all the way
Elias,
to the
and
edge.
others said that it is a prophet, or as one of the
Just grab
prophets.
that guy.
But
Just
when
bring this
Herod
guy all
heard
the way.
thereof, he said, It is
Okay,
John, whom I beheaded.
so
He is risen
that's
from
all
the
new
dead.
spline.
For Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John, and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. For John had said unto Herod, It is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him, and would have killed him, but she could not. For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man,
Okay,
and
we're
an
going
holy,
like
and
this.
observed him. And when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him
Do like
gladly.
that.
And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chief estates of Galilee. And when the daughter of the
Okay, and
said
what we're gonna do, we're
Herodias
gonna
came in,
separate
and
this,
danced, and pleased Herod, and them that sat with him, the
and
king said
we're
unto the
gonna select
damsel,
this.
Ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it
I'm
thee.
leaving this in here because that's
Swear
the way
unto
it
her,
wants to
Whatsoever
flow.
thou shalt ask of
We
me,
got
I
an
will
edge
give it
there.
unto
We're
the
gonna put a
half of
new
my kingdom. And she
spline there,
went
so we're
forth
just
and
gonna
said unto her
go
mother, What shall I ask
separate all loose
thee?
parts.
The head of John the Baptist. And she came in straightway with
To
haste unto the
the
king,
main
and asked, saying, I will
spline.
that thou give me by and by in
We're
a
gonna drop these
charger
in the
the
main
head of John
collection.
the Baptist. And the king was exceeding sorry, yet for his oath's sake, and for their sakes which sat with him,
Okay,
he
so this
was
is
not
guide
rejected.
spline.
And
This other
immediately
one
the
is the
king
guide
sent
line
an
also.
executioner, and
So
commanded
I'm
his
gonna
head to be
duplicate this
broken.
guy.
And he went and beheaded him in the prison,
Grab
and
this
brought his
guy.
head in a charger,
Just gonna
and
get
gave
rid of
it to
this
the damsel.
curve for now.
And the damsel gave it to
Grab
her
him,
mother.
snap him right on there.
And when his disciples heard of it, they came and took up his corpse and laid it in a tomb. And the
And then
apostles
this
gathered
guy,
themselves together unto
we're just
Jesus,
gonna
and told him
bring the
all things,
center right
what they
there.
had done, and
Let's
what
just
they
zoom
had
into
taught.
that nicely.
And he said unto them, Come ye
Okay,
yourselves apart into a desert place,
so
and
the
rest
centers
a
are
while.
right there. Oh,
There were many coming and going, and they had
selection
no
cursor.
leisure so
Okay,
much as to
that's
eat.
working.
And
And
they
let's
departed into a desert place by
let's
ship.
add the spline right here. What
And the
spline is?
people
What's the
saw
name
them
of the
depart.
spline? The spline is
Many knew
guide
him,
spline.
and ran afoot
So
thither out of
I'm
walled
gonna add
cities,
another
and outwent them, and came
curve.
together unto him. And
Oh,
Jesus, when he
didn't
came out,
convert these to
saw
splines
much
as yet, so
people, and
let's
was
do that.
moved with compassion toward them, because they were as sheep
Curve.
not having a shepherd.
So you could,
And began
so
to
in
teach
Blender you could
them
take a
many
curve and
things.
convert it to a
And when
spline.
the day was
So
now
that's
far
pretty neat.
spent, his disciples came unto him, and said,
Oh,
Leave
yeah,
us
not curve.
this
Sorry, you
place,
could take
for
an
now the
edge.
time is far
You could take
spent.
an edge and convert it
Send
to a
them away,
spline. So
that they may go into the
that's
country
kind of
round
cool,
about,
right?
and into
So
the villages, and buy
let's come
themselves
here.
bread,
Okay,
for they have nothing to
I'm
eat.
liking what this is doing, but
He answered and said unto
this
them,
should be flipped
Give
the other way
ye
though.
them to eat.
Let's take a look
And they
first.
said unto him,
See where this
Shall
is
we go
headed.
and buy 200 pennyworth of bread, and give them to eat? And he
Okay.
saith unto them,
So I'm gonna
Let
do. I'm
those
gonna
have it,
control
and
M.
go and see. And when they knew, they
Go
say, 5
X
and 2
X
fishes. And he commanded them to make all sit down by
O
companies
Y.
upon the green grass. And they sat down in ranks by hundreds and by fifties.
Yep.
And when he had taken the
So I
5
just
loaves and
mirrored
the
it
2 fishes,
so
he looked
that
up to
the
heaven,
profile of
blessed
this is
and
on the
brake the
outside,
loaves,
kind of like how the
gave them to his
profile,
disciples to set before
the
them.
reel is like
And
that.
the 2 fishes divided he among
So I'm just
those
gonna
that were
really
full.
watch
And they did
this and
all
see
eat,
how
and
this is
were filled.
flowing.
And they took up
So
12
far it looks
baskets
good.
full
So
of
let's
fragments, and of the fishes.
just add some
And
more
they that did eat of
reels
the
here.
loaves were about 5,000 men. And straightway he constrained his disciples to get into the ship, and to go to the other side before unto
I
Bethsaida,
don't think I should add a
and sent
reel
away
going
the
down like that.
multitude.
I think the reel
And when
should
he had
stop.
sent them away, he departed into a mountain
Right,
to pray.
scale
And
and
when even was
exclude the
come,
Z.
the ship was in the midst of the sea, and he
That's
alone on the land.
right up to the edge right there.
And he saw them toiling and rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them. And about the 4th
Let's see
watch
what
of the
these
night
are.
he cometh unto them, walking upon the sea,
Let's
and would
scale
have
this.
passed by them. But when
Scale,
they saw him walking upon the sea, they
exclude the
supposed it had
Z.
been a spirit, and cried out. For
You
they
got it
all
right
saw
up to
him
the
and were
edge.
troubled. And immediately he talked with them, and saith unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid.
Scale exclude
And he
Z.
went up
Let's
unto
bring
them
that
into
guy
the ship,
back.
and the wind ceased, and they were sore amazed in themselves beyond measure, and wondered. For they considered not the miracle of the
Okay, let's
loaves,
take a look at
for their
these
heart was hardened. And when they had
posts,
passed
this
over,
lamp post.
they came into the land of Gennesaret,
Top
and drew
view.
to the shore.
Well,
And
this
when they were
definitely
come out
clear,
of
so
the
let's
ship,
clear that.
straightway
Guard
they knew him,
X.
and ran through that whole
Let's
region round
clear it.
about, and began to carry about in beds those that were sick,
Yeah, these
where they
clear
knew he was.
the rails for
Whithersoever
sure.
he entered, into villages or cities or country, they laid the sick in the streets and besought him that they might touch of it were but the border of his garment. And as many as touched him were made whole. Then came together unto him the Pharisees and certain of the scribes, which
Okay,
came
let's do
from
that.
Jerusalem. And when they saw
Okay,
some of his disciples eat bread
well
with
those are cleared.
Gentiles,
Yeah, this is
to
looking
say,
pretty
with
alright. So
unwashen
this
hands,
rail is
they found
here.
fault. For the
That
Pharisees
rail
and
is
all the
there.
Jews,
Let's do
except
another
they
one.
wash their hands off, eat not, holding the tradition of the elders. And when they came from the market, except they wash, they eat not. And many other things there be which they have received to hold, as the washing of cups and pots, brazen vessels, and of tables. Then the
The good
Pharisees
thing
and
about this,
scribes
you could
answered
always
him,
redo
Why
these
walk not thy
designs
disciples according
to
to the tradition of the
be
elders,
more
which have
centric
eaten
to
bread
the
with
level.
unwashen
Right now,
hands?
I'm just really trying to
And
get
he
it
said unto
populated
them,
and laid out.
Well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it
And
is written,
for now,
This
that's the
people
most
honoreth
important
me
things.
with their lips, but their heart
I
is
already have
far
an
from me.
idea about this
Howbeit in
little
vain
wall
do
right
they
here.
worship me, teaching for doctrine
Let's
the commandments of men.
yeah, we could throw that down.
For laying
So
aside the commandment of
let's
God,
see.
ye
We'll
hold the
have a
tradition of men, as the
split going
washing
all
of
the way
pots and
around
cups, and many other
for
such
this
like
wall.
things ye do. And he said unto
And
them,
let's continue with that.
Full well ye reject the
I
commandment of
think I want
God, that ye
this
may keep your
edge
own tradition.
going
For
all the
Moses
way
said,
around the wall.
Honor thy father and thy mother, and whoso curseth father or mother,
Let's
let him
check
die
that
the
out.
death. But ye say, If a man shall say to his
That
father
edge
or
stop
mother,
because maybe
It is
this is
Corban,
broken.
that is to say, a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free. And ye suffer him no more to do aught
Interesting.
for his father or his mother, making the word of God of none effect through your tradition, which
Yeah,
ye
these are
have
not.
delivered, and many such like things doing. And when he had called all the people unto him, he said unto them,
Let's merge that.
Hearken unto me,
Let's
every one of
just
you,
do a
and
general merge
understand.
by distance.
There is nothing from without
Let's
a
merge
man
about a really
that
low
entering
distance,
into
that's
him
fine.
can defile him,
So
but the
anything on
things
top
which
of
come
each other
out,
should merge.
those are they
And
that
let's
defile the man.
select like
If any
so.
man
Yep,
have ears to hear,
so
let
that
him
should work.
hear.
And
And when he was entered into
select
the
like
house,
so. That's how that
his
should work.
disciples asked him concerning the parable. And he said unto them, Are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not
And we can always
perceive
fix this
that
door
whatsoever
part here.
enter
We can always fix
without
this
entereth into
door
the
part
mouth
here.
cannot
Matter of fact,
defile,
let us
because it
separate
entereth
these
not
pieces
into his
first.
heart, but into the
So I'm
belly, and
looking.
goeth out into the draught, purging all
Okay,
meats. And he said,
separate these
That which cometh
entrances and
out of a
exits.
man, that defileth the man.
P.
For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts,
So
adulteries, fornications,
separate selection.
murders,
Okay, let's go
thefts,
back
covetousness,
to here.
wickedness,
Go
deceit,
edge.
lasciviousness, an
Select
evil
that like
eye,
so. Select that
blasphemy,
like so. And
pride,
just select yep
foolishness.
all the walls.
All
And
these evil things come
what
from
I want
within,
to do is to bring
and
this a little bit
defile the man.
lower. Let's see if this
And
matches up
thence
to
he
the rail.
arose,
Let's bring this
and
up to
went
the
into the
rail
borders of
height.
Tyre and Sidon,
Grab
and
Z.
entered into an house, and would have no
And
man
you
know
know,
it,
this is stuff I
that it
learned
not be him.
working with
Certain
architects and
woman,
engineers
whose young
and
daughter
interior
had an
design. Is
unclean
that
spirit, turned
sometimes
her
your
and
lines
gave
like
unsuch
gotta
as
match
eat.
to a certain
The
degree.
woman was a Greek,
So let's bring
a
that up to there.
Syrophoenician by nation, and she besought him that he
And I
would
want
cast
to
forth the devil out of her daughter. But Jesus said
make
unto
another
her,
one right here.
Let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take
Another
the
one right
children's
here.
bread and
And
to
let's
cast
select
it unto the
this back
dogs.
again.
And she answered and said
Let's go
unto him,
back. And yep, this should
Yes,
be
Lord,
exact.
yet the dogs
Let's
under the table
grab
eat of
this
the
and go Z
children's
up
crumbs. And he said unto her, For
just
this saying,
a
go thy
little
way,
bit.
the devil is gone
Almost the
out of thy
same
daughter. And when she
thickness
was
as
come to
here.
her house,
Almost,
she
right?
found the devil gone out, and her daughter laid upon the bed.
I think I
And
want to
again,
actually
departing from the
try
coast
to
of
make
Tyre
this
and
look
Sidon, he came unto the Sea of
as if
Galilee,
it's
through the midst of the coasts of the
extruded in
Galilees.
a bit. So
And they
let's go
bring unto
extrude.
him one that was deaf,
Alright, so
and had an
this actually
impediment in
doesn't
his
work. Let's go
speech,
Control
and
S.
beseech him to
Let's
put
do
his
something
hand
like that,
upon
and
him.
let's go S to
And
even
he
it.
took him aside from the
And let's
boat,
bring it, and
and
let's
put
make
his
the
fingers into his
lip
ears, and he spit and
here
touched
the
his
same,
tongue,
almost
and
the same
looked up to
thickness.
heaven. He
So I have
sighed,
a,
and
okay,
saith
so I'm
unto his
strength,
servant,
I'm
Ephphatha,
going
be
0.02, so let's
open.
go 0.
And straightway his ears were opened, and the string of his tongue was
So
loosed, and he
0.1
spake plain. And he charged them that they should tell
minus,
no man.
okay, nope,
But the more he charged them, so much the more a great deal they published it,
point
and were
2,
beyond measure astonished, saying, He hath
okay,
done all things
zero
well. He
0.1,
maketh both the deaf to hear, and the
zero
dumb to speak.
0.5,
In those
nope,
days the
yeah,
multitude
let's do zero
being
0.5,
very great, and having
minus
nothing to eat,
0.05,
Jesus called his disciples unto him, and saith
2,
unto them, I have
let's go 3,
compassion on the multitude,
3,
because they have now
yeah,
with
that's it.
me 3
Okay,
If I send them away fasting to
let's
their
take a
own
look.
houses, they will faint by the way, for
Yeah, so it's
darkness
kind
and
of
their
like an
feet
inset,
are far.
and
And his disciples answered him, From whence can a man
let's
satisfy
grab and
these
just
men
scale
with
this and
bread
see what
here
we
in the
got.
wilderness?
Yeah, that's looking like
He asked
something.
them, How many loaves have you?
Okay, and I just did it arbitrarily because we could always fix that after.
And he
And
commanded the
let's
people
do
to
it on
sit
this
down
side
on the
here.
ground. And he took the 7 loaves, and gave thanks, and brake, and gave to his disciples to set before them. And they did set them before the people. They had a few small fishes, and he blessed and commanded to set them also before them. So they did eat, and were filled.
Yes, extrude it,
And they took up of the
cancel,
broken meat and
Alt
wine,
S,
7
with
baskets.
S,
And
minus
they that had eaten were about 4,000.
0.03.
And he sent them away. And
Yep,
straightway he entered into a
that's
ship
what we
with his
got.
disciples,
And then we're just
and
gonna
came into the
go
parts of Galilee.
wireframe
And the Pharisees came forth and began to question him, seeking of him a sign
let's
from
scale
heaven,
this.
tempting him. And he sighed deeply in his spirit, and saith, Why doth this generation seek
And
after
the
a
axis,
sign? Verily I say
just so
unto you,
that it
there
makes the
shall
middle
no
right here.
sign be given unto this generation.
And we could just
And
come
they
back
got,
again
and entering into the ship again,
and
departed on the
select
other side.
the edges.
Now the disciples had
We're
no
just
help
going
to
vertex
take
mode.
bread, neither had they in the ship
Don't
with
select
them
these
more than
edges.
1 loaf. And he charged them, saying, Take heed,
Scale
beware of the
Z
leaven of the Pharisees,
0.
and of the leaven of Herod.
Select
And
these
they
edges
reasoned
here.
among themselves, saying,
Scale
It
Z
is because we have
0.
no bread. And when Jesus knew it,
And
he saith unto them, Why reason ye because
let's
ye
view
have
this
no
into
bread?
into
Perceive ye
solid
not
mode. See
yet,
what we got.
neither
Yep.
understand? Have
So
ye
these
no
are kind of
heart yet hardened?
inset there a
Having
bit.
eyes see ye not, and having
Yep.
ears hear ye not, and do ye
So I
not
think that's cool.
understand?
Let's
When
get
I
the
took
rest of
the
these
5
reels happening.
loaves among 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up?
I'm just
And they
gonna
say unto him, 12. And when the 7 among
I'm
4,000,
gonna
how
disable
many
this for now.
baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they said,
Just
7.
grab,
And he said unto them, How is it that ye
snap
do
it
not
onto here.
understand? And he cometh to
I'm gonna
Bethsaida,
select
and they
this
bring a blind man unto him,
from
and
here.
besought him to touch him.
This is
And he
selected.
took the blind man by the
Bring
hand,
that there.
and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes, and put his hands upon him, he asked him if
Gonna
he
come
saw.
here. I'm gonna go
And he looked up and said,
selection the cursor. Make sure
I
it's
see men
right on
sitting
there.
as walking. After that
What's the
he
name of
put
this
his
guy? It's
hands
plan
again
zero
upon his
zero.
eyes, and made him look up.
Let's
And
call
he
this
was
guy's plan 2.
restored, and saw
It's
every
fine.
man clearly.
Go
And he
quick.
sent him away to his house, saying, Neither go into the town, nor tell it to any in the town. And Jesus went out, and his
See how
disciples
that
into the
looks.
towns of Caesarea Philippi.
So it's
And on
choosing
the
this as
way he
first. We
asked
want to
his
reverse the
disciples, saying
direction
unto
on the
them,
spline.
Whom do men say that I am? They answered, John the Baptist. But some say, Elias, and others,
Switch direction.
one of the prophets. And he saith
So it's
unto them,
starting here
But
and it's
whom
going all
say
the way over
ye that
here.
I am?
Let's take
Peter
away some of
answereth
these,
and saith
some of the
unto
length
him,
off of
Thou art
this.
the Christ. And he
Like
charged them
so.
that they should tell no man of him. And he
Let's
began
go
to
one
teach
more.
them that the Son of Man must suffer many things,
Yeah, and
and
let's
be
scale
rejected
this.
of the elders,
Scale Z,
and of the chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days
Shift
rise
Z.
again. And he spake that
Okay.
saying openly. And Peter took him, and began to rebuke him. But when he had turned about and looked on his
Oh, did
disciples,
I
he rebuked
not
Peter, saying,
duplicate this?
Get thee behind me, Satan.
Apparently I
Thou
didn't.
savorest not the things that be
It's
of
okay.
God, but the things that be
We
of
got it.
men. And when he had called the people unto him with
I'm
his
just going to
disciples
spline.
also, he said unto them, Whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross, and follow me.
Okay.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. For what shall it profit a man, if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. And he said unto them,
Okay,
Verily I
we got
say
it back,
unto you,
guys.
that there be some
We
of
just have
them
to
that stand here,
add some more
shall
here.
not taste of death, till they have seen the kingdom of God come with power. And after
So
6 days Jesus taketh with
scale
him Peter,
Shift
and
Z.
James, and John, and leadeth them up into an high mountain apart by themselves. And he was
So
transfigured before them, and his raiment became shining, exceeding white as snow, so as no fuller on earth can white them. And there appeared unto them Elias with Moses, and they were talking with Jesus. And Peter answered and said to Jesus, Master, it is good for us to be here. And let
Okay,
us
and
make
this one I'm
3
gonna
tabernacles,
flip.
one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for
Just
Elias.
Control M
For he wist not
and
what to
Y.
say, for they were sore afraid.
Yep.
There was a cloud that overshadowed them.
Okay, so we
A
got
voice
some
came out of the
railings
cloud,
happening.
saying, This is my
At
beloved
least on this
Son,
side.
hear him. And suddenly, when they had looked round about, they saw no man any more, save Jesus only with themselves. And as they came down from the mountain, he charged them that they should tell no man what things they had seen, till the Son of Man were risen from the dead. And they kept that saying with themselves, questioning one with another what the rising from the dead should mean. And they asked him, Why say the scribes that Elias must
Or maybe
first
this
come?
side doesn't have any railing,
Answered
like
and
a Death
told
Star
them,
type thing.
Elias verily cometh first, and restoreth all things, and how it is written of the Son of Man, that he must
It's getting a
suffer
little more
many
treacherous.
things, and be set
Treacherous.
at naught. But I say unto you, that Elias is indeed come, and they have done unto him whatsoever they listed, as it is written of him. And when he came to his disciples, he saw a great multitude about them, and the scribes questioning
Let's
with
take a
them.
look at this.
And straightway all the people, when they beheld
Maybe
him, were
there's
greatly
no
amazed,
railing on this
and
side.
running to him saluted him.
Once you turn the
And he
corner
asked
over
the
there,
scribes,
let's see what that
What
looks
question
like.
ye with them? And one of the multitude answered and said,
Yeah,
Master, I have
I
brought
think
unto
that's
thee
better.
my son, which hath a
Yeah,
dumb
these
spirit.
things you figure out as you go
And
on, guys.
wheresoever he taketh him,
It's not a
he
big deal.
teareth him. And he foameth and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And
You
I
can't
spake
know
to thy
everything in one go,
disciples that
so
they should
it's all
cast him
good.
out, and they could not. He answereth him and saith, O faithless generation, how long shall I be
Okay,
with you?
so
How long shall
that's
I
good to go.
suffer
Let's
you?
see if we can get some
Bring
of
him
these
unto
pipes
me.
happening. So
And
I'm
they
gonna
brought
have
him
to
unto
go
him, and when he
into
saw him, straightway the spirit took him,
10
and he fell unto the
and
ground, and wallowed foaming.
let's
And
go
he
into
asked his
level
father,
2.
How long is it ago since this came unto him?
Let's go
And
into
he said, Of a child.
collections, curve,
And oft times it
collection.
hath cast him into the fire,
Now
and
let's
into
see.
the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us, and help us.
You see
And
that
Jesus said
railing,
unto him,
section,
If thou canst
structure,
believe, all things are possible to him that believeth.
walls,
And
LODs.
straightway the father of the child cried out, and said with
Okay, we're
tears,
gonna have to search for
Lord,
it
I
by
believe,
object.
help thou mine unbelief. When Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried, and rent him sore, and came out of him. And he was as one dead, insomuch that many said, He is dead. But Jesus took him by the hand, and lifted him up, and he arose.
Okay, so we have the
When he
pipes. We
was
have
come
pipes
into the
LED,
house,
pipes
his
low.
disciples asked him privately,
Okay.
Why could not we cast him out? And he said unto them, This kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting.
Let's
And
see
he
what this
departed
is.
thence and passed through Galilee, and he would not that any man should know it. For he taught his disciples and
Okay,
said
this is
unto
what I
them,
thought. It would be the
The Son of Man
whole
is
thing
delivered into the
all
hands of
together.
men, and they shall kill him. And after that he is killed, he shall rise the third day. But they understood not that
Okay, that's
saying,
what I
and
thought.
were
Let's
afraid
see
to
if we
ask
have
him.
another
And
folder
he
in
came to
here
Capernaum, and being
with
in the house,
pipes.
he asked them, What was it that ye disputed among yourselves by the way? And they held their peace, for by the way they had disputed among
Or
themselves, who
cables.
should be the greatest. And he sat down and called the 12,
Cable
and
carry.
saith unto them,
See what
If
that
any
is.
man desire to be first, the same shall be last
Pipes
of
low.
all, and
Let's check that
servant of
out.
all. And he took a child, and set him in the midst of them. And when he had taken him in his arms, he said unto them,
I think this is what we want,
Whosoever shall
guys.
receive one of such children in my name,
For sure.
receiveth me.
So, what I'm
And
going to do, I'm going
whosoever
to take a
shall
look to see
receiveth
if
me,
there's a
receiveth
texture on
not
here,
me,
which it
but him that
should
sent
have
me.
a texture.
And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followeth not us. And we forbade him, because he
Let's take a
followeth
look
not
to
us.
see what materials on here
And he
in the
said,
shading.
Forbid him not. For there is no
Okay, so
man
there's
which shall do a
definitely
miracle in my name,
a
that can
texture on here.
lightly speak evil of me. For that is not against us
Just
is
save
on our
that.
part. For whosoever shall give you a cup of water to drink in my name, because ye belong to Christ, verily I say unto you, he shall not lose his reward. And whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he were cast into the sea. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is
I
better
think
for
the
thee to
textures
enter
are like
into
up
life
in
maimed, than
one
having
level up.
two hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. Where their
So
worm
let's
dieth
take
not,
a look in
and the
here.
fire is not quenched. And if thy foot offend thee, cut it
I
off.
can't get
It is
that.
better for thee to enter halt into
Go
life,
back.
than having 2 feet to be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched, where their worm
What's the name
dieth
of
not,
this
and
pipe
the fire is
speed?
not quenched. And if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. It is better for
Okay, I'm
thee
gonna
to
have to
enter
look for
into the
this
kingdom
texture.
of God with one eye, than having 2 eyes to be cast into hellfire, where their worm dieth
Let's
not,
see.
and the fire is not quenched. For every one shall be salted with fire, and every sacrifice shall be salted with salt. Salt is good, but if the salt have lost his saltness, wherewith will ye season it? Have salt in yourselves, and have peace one with another. Chapter 10. And he arose
What
from
texture
thence, and
is?
cometh into the coasts of
Just
Judea
in
by the farther
case. I
side of
don't think it
Jordan.
should be in here.
The people
Let's
resort
go
unto
one
him
more.
again. And as he was wont, he
Levels,
taught them again. And
textures.
the Pharisees came to him and asked him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? Tempting him. And he answered and said unto them,
Okay, it's
What
right
does
here.
Moses
Pipes to
command you?
death.
And they said,
Okay, I see
Moses
it.
suffered to write a bill of divorcement, and to put her away. And
Let's
Jesus answered
select
and
that.
said unto them,
Let's go
For the
back here
hardness of
again.
your heart he wrote you this precept. But from the beginning of the creation God made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. What
Let's
therefore
sort my
God hath
name.
joined together, let not man put asunder. And in the house his disciples
Select that.
asked him again of the same
Okay.
matter. And he saith
I
unto
think this
them,
is great, guys.
Whosoever shall put
We
away
could
his
roll with
wife,
this.
and marry another, committeth adultery against her. And if a
Okay.
woman shall put away her husband, and be married to another, she
Let's hide
committeth
the
adultery.
walls here for now.
They brought young children to him, that he should
Let's go
touch them.
back in here.
And his disciples
Okay.
rebuked those that brought them. But when Jesus saw it,
Yeah,
he
let's
was
hide the
much
walls.
displeased, and said unto them, Suffer the little
Ceilings,
children to come
walls.
unto me, and forbid them not, for of such
Okay.
is the kingdom of God. Verily I say unto you,
We need to
whosoever
get
shall
down
not
in here.
receive the
So
kingdom
this is
of
what the
God
pipes
as a
need to
little
follow
child
right here.
shall not enter therein.
We just
And
have
he
to
took them up in his
extrude.
arms, and put his hands
We
upon
just
them,
have to get a
and blessed them. When he was gone forth
thing
into
from
the
here.
way,
So let's go
there
into
came
here
one
and
running,
see
and
what the.
kneeled to
Okay,
him,
so it's
and
along an
asked him,
edge. We
Good
just need
master,
like an
what shall
edge.
I do that I may inherit eternal life? And Jesus said unto him, Why callest thou me good?
Actually,
There is
let's
none
bring the
good
pipe
but
over
one,
to see
that
what
is,
it looks
God.
like.
Thou knowest the commandments, do not commit adultery,
Right.
do
This
not
is what
steal,
the 3D cursor is good
do
for
not
like
bear false
placing
witness,
things.
defraud not, honor thy
Select
father and thy mother.
selection to cursor.
And he
So we can
answered and
put
said
it like
unto him,
right over there.
Master, all these I have observed from my
Alright, so you
youth.
see how that is like
And Jesus,
significantly
beholding him,
smaller.
loved him, and said
So
unto him,
let's see what we
One
got
thing
here.
thou lackest.
Location,
Go
there's
thy
no
way,
rotation on it,
sell
right?
whatsoever
So
thou hast, and give to the
what
poor,
kind of rotation
and
we
thou
want
shalt
on
have
this?
treasure in heaven. And come, take up the cross, and follow
X.
me. And he was sad at that saying, and
Rotate
went away grieved, for he had
X.
great possessions.
Rotate Y.
And Jesus looked round about, and saith unto his disciples, How hardly
Okay,
shall they
that's
that have
interesting.
riches enter into the kingdom of God?
Grab Z. You
And
see,
the
and this would
disciples
like,
were astonished
if
at
you was
him.
to do all these cables, this would be
Jesus
like a whole
answered
lot, but it
again
would
and
actually
saith,
lend to the scale of the
Children,
place. But I'm going to
how
scale
hard is
this
it
up,
for them that trust in riches to enter into the kingdom of God? It is
and
easier for a camel to go
let's
through
just
the eye
select,
of a needle,
separate these
or
two
a
and
rich
focus
man
on
to
it.
enter into the kingdom of God.
I'm gonna come
They were
here,
astonished
grab.
out of
I'm just
measure,
gonna snap
saying
it
within
right onto that
themselves,
edge.
Who then
We're gonna
can be
rotate
this?
Z.
And Jesus, looking upon them, saith, With men it
90.
is impossible, but not with God. For with God all things are
Alright, this
possible.
is how this is
Then
supposed to
Peter began
actually
to say unto him, Lo, we
do
have
it. It's
left
supposed to do it
all,
like
and
this.
followed thee. Jesus
So
answered and said,
if we was to scale,
Verily I say unto you, there is no man that
let's
hath
see what that
left
would look
house, or
like.
brethren, or
Some giant
sisters, or
pipes, but
father,
it's
or
okay.
mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my sake, and the gospel's, but he shall receive
Just
an
make this a little bit
hundredfold now
smaller
in this
scale.
time, houses, and brethren, and sisters, and mothers, and children,
Okay,
and
that's fine.
lands, with persecutions, and in the world to come eternal life. But many
Let's
that are
do like
first
that. Let's
shall be last,
extract
and the last
this. Key
and they were
selection.
in the way going up to Jerusalem, and Jesus went before them. And they were amazed, and as they followed, shall be delivered unto the chief priests,
Edge,
and unto the
delete this
scribes,
edge,
and they shall condemn him to death,
edge.
and they shall deliver him to the Gentiles.
Select this for to
They shall
see,
mock
and
him,
I'm gonna
shall
call
scourge him,
the
and shall spit upon
cursor
him,
to over
and
here.
shall kill him.
I'm
The
gonna do
third
the
day
same
he
thing,
shall
call that
rise
over
again.
there to the cursor.
James and John, the sons of Zebedee,
I rotated
come
that
unto him,
along
saying,
the.
Master, we would that thou shouldest do for
I'll
us
zero that back
whatsoever we
out,
shall
see what
desire.
that gives me.
He said unto them, What would ye that I should do for you? They said unto him, Grant unto us that we may sit, one on thy right hand, and the other on thy left hand, in thy glory. But Jesus
I
said
actually
unto
want
them,
this. Yeah, let's
Know
leave
not
it like
what ye
this.
ask.
Let's take a
Ye drink of the cup
quick
that I
little
drink
peek.
of,
And
and be baptized with the
you
baptism
definitely
that I
want
am
an array
baptized
on
with.
this.
They said unto him,
Zero on
We
that.
have. And Jesus said unto them, Ye shall indeed drink of
And
the cup that I drink of,
one on
and of
that.
the baptism that I am baptized
So this
withal
array
shall
should
ye
be a
be
little bit
baptized.
tighter. So
But to sit on my right hand and on my left hand is not for
0.99
but it shall be given to them for whom it is
and
prepared.
5. Okay.
When the 10 heard it, they began to be much displeased with James and John. But Jesus
8,
called them to him, and saith unto them,
9. Oh,
Ye know that they which
8,
are
9.
appointed to rule over the
There you go.
Gentiles exercise lordship over them. Their great ones
8, 8.
exercise authority upon them.
8, 7.
But so shall it not be among you. But whosoever
7.
will be great among you shall be your minister. And whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all.
8, 6,
Even
9.
the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to
6,
give his
7.
life a ransom for many. And they came to Jericho. And as he went out of Jericho with his disciples, and a
Okay,
great number of people,
66.
blind Bartimaeus,
Okay.
the son of
So,
Timaeus,
yeah, that's pretty
sat
tight.
by the highway side begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he
So,
began to cry out and
keep
say,
a close
Jesus,
eye on this
thou
guy.
son of David, have mercy on me. And many charged him that he should hold his peace, but he cried the more a great deal, Thou son of David, have
Take a
mercy
look
on
at
me.
this guy.
And Jesus stood still and commanded him to be called. And they called the blind
Technically,
man, saying unto him, Be of
this
good
here should be
comfort,
brown.
rise, he calleth thee.
Let's
And
go
he,
and snap
casting
it
away
right
his
on
garment,
there.
rose and came to Jesus. And Jesus answered and said unto him,
And
What wilt thou that I should do unto thee? The blind man said unto him,
let's take this guy,
Lord, that I might receive my sight.
grab and snap him right on
Jesus
here
said unto
too.
him, Go thy way,
And I'm
thy
gonna
faith
do
hath
is
made
grab
thee
this
whole.
edge here,
And immediately
and
he
this edge here,
received his
let's
sight,
get rid of it.
and followed
Whoop.
Jesus in the way. When they came nigh to Jerusalem,
Okay,
unto Bethphage and
merge
Bethany and
this
the
with,
Mount of Olives, he sendeth forth
merge this
two
with
of his
this,
disciples, and saith unto them, Go your way into the
merge that
village over against
with
you,
that guy.
and as soon as ye be entered into it, ye shall find a colt tied, whereon never man sat. Loose him and bring him. And if any man
I
say
think
unto
so.
you, Why do ye this? Say ye that the Lord hath need of him, and straightway he will send him hither. And they went their way and found the colt tied
I'm
by
just
the door
watching to
without,
see how
in a place where
neat
two
we could
ways
have
met,
this.
and they loosed him.
And
And certain of them that stood there
yeah.
said unto them, What do ye, loosing the colt? And they said unto
So
them,
this
We
edge
do as
here
Jesus had commanded,
should be
and they let them go.
another guide.
And they
So
brought the colt to
let's
Jesus,
drop
and
this and
cast
get
their
in here.
garments on him, and he sat upon him. And many spread their garments in the way, and others cut down branches off the trees, and strawed them in the way. And they that went before, and they that followed, cried, saying, Hosanna!
Okay,
Blessed is he that cometh in the
and
name of the Lord. Blessed be the
let's
kingdom of
convert
our
this
father
guy.
David, that cometh in the name of the Lord.
Mash
Hosanna in the
to
highest. And Jesus
curve.
entered into Jerusalem, and into the temple. When he
And
had
so that's
looked
going
round
like so.
about upon
Let's
all
just
things,
double check. We don't need
found
this
he
extra
his
guy there, so we
disciples,
could straight up
he went
delete it
out
for
unto
to see.
Bethany with the
Put this
12.
here too.
On the morrow, when they were come from Bethany, he was hungry. And seeing a fig tree
That
afar
really
off,
affecting the
having
curve.
leaves, he came, and haply he might find anything thereon. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves.
Any extra
The time of
vertices
figs
I'm
was no more.
getting rid of.
And Jesus answered and said unto
Keep things
him,
as simple as
No
possible.
man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever.
Okay,
And his disciples
go
heard
like
him.
that,
And they come to
That
Jerusalem.
seems fine for
And
now.
Jesus went into the temple, and
Well,
began to cast
let's
out
go ahead
them
and
that
do
sold
this.
and bought in the temple, and
X.
overthrew the tables of the money changers, and the seats of them that sold doves,
Okay,
and would not suffer that any man should carry any
that's
vessel through the temple.
guy pipe.
And he
So I'm
taught,
gonna go
saying
from
unto them,
here.
Is it not written,
I'm
My
gonna go
house shall be
over
called of all
to
nations the house
the
of prayer?
curve.
But ye have made it a
I'm
den
gonna
of
select the
thieves.
guide pipe curve,
The
and right
scribes
here
and
we're gonna
chief
make
priests
that
heard it,
like
and
so.
sought how they might destroy him, for they feared him, because all the
I'm
people
just
were
gonna
astonished at his
do a
doctrine.
rotation scale on that,
And when even was come, he went out of
just
the
like
city,
that.
and
And we're gonna say guide pipe.
They sought
Can
to
expected
destroy
that
the
to
help of the roots.
do something like that.
To remembrance, saith unto him,
Not quite like that though. So
Master,
let's come
behold,
here.
the fig tree which
And
thou
let's just
cursest
also apply
is withered away.
the rotate.
Jesus answering saith unto him, Have faith in God. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed,
Rotate and scale.
be thou cast into
Okay.
the sea, and shall not
So I
doubt
think
in his
now
heart,
it's
but
like
shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive
minus.
them, and ye shall have them.
Going the other way.
When ye stand praying,
Okay.
have aught
So
against any, that your
let's apply
Father
that
also
curve
which is
again.
in heaven may forgive you your trespasses.
Let's go guides.
But if ye do not forgive, neither
Guide
will
pipe.
your Father which is in heaven forgive your
Okay, so
trespasses.
X. I think it wants to go along
And
the
they come
Y.
again to Jerusalem. And as he was walking in
Wow,
the
that's
temple, there
pretty
come to him
interesting.
the chief priests and the scribes and the elders, and say unto him, By what authority doest thou these
Z.
things? And who gave thee this authority to do these
X.
things? And Jesus answered
Minus
and said
X.
unto them, I will also ask of you one question, and answer me, and I
Let's
will
see.
tell you by what authority I do
Okay,
these
so
things.
I think we gotta
The
massage this a
baptism
little
of
bit
John,
more. So
was it from heaven
let
or
me
of men? Answer me.
grab
And they
this one
reasoned with
and this
themselves,
one.
saying,
Go
If
back
he shall
out.
say, From heaven,
So
he will say, Why then did ye
and
not believe him?
let's
If he
on
shall
parent
say, Of men, they feared the people,
parents
for all
and
men
then
counted
move
John
these
when he
all
was a
to
prophet
like this
indeed.
scene. Yeah,
He
let's
answered and
pull
said
this
unto Jesus,
guy out so we
We
can just
cannot
hide
tell.
everybody except for these
Jesus
two.
answering saith unto them,
And
Neither do I
let's
tell
see.
you by what
See what we got.
authority I do these things. And he began to speak unto them by parables. A certain man
Okay.
planted a vineyard, and set an hedge about it, and digged a place for the winefat, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen,
Okay,
and went
let's
into a far country.
rotate.
And at the season he sent to the husbandmen a
Save.
servant, that he might receive from
And
the
what else I
husbandmen
want
of
to
the
do
fruit of
here?
the vineyard. And they caught him, and beat him,
We
and
already
sent him
added
away
a
empty. And again he
scale
sent
rotate right
unto
there.
them another servant, and
We
they
have
caught
planned
him, and
scale and
cast stones,
rotation
and
wants
wounded
to
him
go
in the
along
head,
here.
and sent him away shamefully hidden.
Let's reverse
Again
the
he sent
action.
another, and him they killed, and many others, beating some and killing some. Having yet therefore one son, his well beloved, he sent him also last unto them,
Switch the
saying, They
action.
will reverence my son. But those husbandmen said among themselves, This is the heir, come let us kill him, and the inheritance shall be ours. And they took him and killed him, and cast him out of the vineyard. What shall therefore the Lord of the vineyard do? He will come and destroy the husbandman, and will give the vineyard unto others. And have ye not read this scripture? The stone which the
Okay, let's
builders
come here.
rejected is
I'm gonna
become
add
the
that
head
back
of the
again.
builders.
Guides line.
This was the Lord's doing, and it
See
is
where it
marvelous
is.
in our eyes.
Okay, so it's not
And they
going
sought to lay
crazy
hold
anymore.
on him, but
Let's
feared the
go with
people,
regular
for they knew that
X.
he had spoken the parable against them. And they left him and went their way.
Yep.
And they send unto him certain of the Pharisees and of the Herodians, to catch him in his words.
Let's see. We got
When they
that
were
there. We
come,
got
they
this
say unto
here.
him, Master, we know that thou
Let's
art
hide this
true,
for now.
and carest for no man. For thou regardest not the person of men, but teachest the way of God in truth. Is it lawful to give tribute to
Let's
Caesar,
see what else we
or
got
not?
if we go Y.
Shall we give, or shall we not give? But he, knowing their hypocrisy, said unto them, Why tempt ye me? Bring me a penny that I may see it. And they brought it. And he saith unto them,
So,
Whose
Z.
is this image and superscription? And
Let's
they
go
said
Z.
unto him, Caesar's. And Jesus answering said unto them, Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. And they marveled at him. Then come unto him the Sadducees,
Okay.
which say there is no resurrection.
So,
And they asked him, saying, Master,
it seems to
Moses
have
wrote
fixed some of the
unto us, if a
problems.
man's brother
And we
die,
got it
and he
kind
his
of
wife
working more or
behind him,
less.
and leave
Let's
no
see what
children,
else we
that
could
his
do with
brother
this
should
line.
take his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Now there were
Ooh.
7 brethren.
So,
The
just
first
right
took
click.
a wife, and
Okay.
dying left no seed. And the second took her, and died, neither left he any seed. And the third
Subdivide up, make
likewise.
segments,
And the 7th had
radius,
her, and left no
radius.
seed. Last of all the woman died also.
Tilt,
In the
clear tilt,
resurrection therefore,
clear
when they
tilt.
shall rise, whose wife shall she be of them? For the 7 had her to wife.
Mirror.
Jesus answering said
Nope,
unto
we
them,
don't need any of that.
Do ye not therefore err, because ye know not the
Okay.
Scriptures, neither the power of God? For when they shall rise
Yeah,
from the dead,
cyclical
they
will do
neither
that, but
marry,
we don't want to do
nor are
that.
given in marriage, but are as the angels which are in heaven.
Ability switch to action.
And as touching the dead
Calculate
that they rise,
handles.
have ye not read in the book of Moses how in the bush
Set
God spake
curve
unto him,
radius.
saying, I am the God of
Oh,
Abraham,
2-point
and
radius
the God
using
of
beveling.
Isaac,
Okay,
and the God of Jacob.
separate, dissolve.
He is not the
Okay,
God of the dead,
let's see what else
but
we
the
have
God
here.
of the living.
Switch
Ye therefore
action.
do greatly err. And one of the scribes came, and having
Oh,
heard
that's the
them
hard ops
reasoning
menu.
together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, Which is the first commandment of all? And Jesus answered him, The first of all the commandments
Okay.
is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment.
Okay,
The second is
so
like it, namely this, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. And the scribe said unto him,
okay, let's hide this for a
Well,
minute.
Master, thou hast said the truth, for there is one God, and there is none other but he. And to love him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the soul, and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor as himself, is more than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Okay, so let's check this out.
And when Jesus saw that he answered
Let's
this
grab
man,
this guy.
he said
Ooh.
unto him, Thou art not far from the kingdom of God. And no man after that durst ask him any question. And Jesus answered and said, while he taught in the temple, How say the scribes that Christ is the son of David? For David himself said by the Holy Ghost, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit thou on my right
Okay,
hand,
so
till I make thine
you
enemies
know, I think I encountered this problem already
David
where
therefore
I
himself
had to like
called him Lord.
assign
Whence is he then
this to
the Son
that,
of God?
and
Common
I
people
wanted to
heard him
start over
blindly.
here, and it's a
Said
whole
unto
different,
them in
you
his
know,
doctrine,
thing to do with like
Beware of the scribes, which
bounding
love to
box
go
and
in
where you
long
created
clothing,
it, and
and love
you know,
salutations
like
in
most
the
plans
temple,
want you to start like in the
and the chief
zero
seats of the
zero.
synagogues, and the upper
Blender is
rooms
not
of the
bad.
feasts,
I
which
know
sit
for a
upon
fact
the
in
widows'
Max
seats, and for a
you know,
pretense
it's
make
a lot more
multitudes.
picky.
These shall receive
So
greater damnation. And Jesus sat over against the treasury, and beheld how the people cast money into the treasury, and many that were rich cast in much.
okay,
And there came a certain poor widow, and she
started
threw in
array.
2 mites, which make a farthing. And he called unto him his disciples, and saith unto them,
Go in the Y
Verily
direction.
I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury. For all they did
You see
cast
how
in
it's
of their
angled off like that? I
abundance,
mean,
but she
something is
of her
definitely
want
happening here.
cast in all that she had.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into
And
this,
as he
but
went out of the temple, one of his disciples saith
you
unto
know, it
him,
may just be the way that,
Master,
you know, I
see what
originally
manner of
created it.
stones and
So
what buildings are here.
let's get
And
rid of
Jesus
that for now.
answering said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be
Yeah, I'm gonna
left
have to
one
look
stone
into
upon another that
massaging
shall
this
not
plan
be
some more.
thrown
So
down.
you know
And
what? I'm
Jesus
gonna
saw
stop
certain
for now,
buildings
guys,
over against the
and
temple,
I'm not
wherein
giving up. We're
James
gonna
and John
get this back
were
happening.
asking him privately,
But while I'm
Tell us,
streaming here, I don't want to be
when
like
shall these
just
things be?
silently
And what shall
looking through
be the
menus
sign
and
whereof these things
documentation to
shall
get
be
this going.
fulfilled?
You know,
And
so
Jesus
for
answering
now, we're
answered
just
them,
gonna
saying,
just
Take
leave
heed
this as
that
is.
any man deceive you. For
It's
many shall
something
come
that's
in my
gonna
name,
be
saying,
in here,
I am
and
Christ, and shall deceive
you know, I'm
many.
gonna take some time and
And
just
ye
look
shall
up
hear
to
of
see
wars
how
and
I can get
rumors of
this all
wars.
squared away and everything like that.
For such things
But in the
must be,
meantime, you know,
but the end
this
shall not
I'm
be
just
yet.
gonna look through all
Vision
these
shall
things. But in
rise
the
against
meantime,
vision,
guys, you know,
and
thank
kingdom
you for
against
watching.
kingdom, and there shall be
You know,
earthquakes in divers
it's been a
places,
bit of a
and there shall
journey.
be famines and
You know, I
troubles,
gotta ramp back
these
up
are the
and
beginnings of
apply more
sorrows.
speed to
But
creating
take
these
heed to
assets.
yourselves, for they shall deliver you up into
You know,
councils,
to finish off
and
these
in the
levels.
synagogues
And as you saw
shall be
before in the
scourged, and
previous
shall be brought before rulers and kings
video,
for
we
my sake, for a
actually did
testimony against them.
in
And
3D
thus
Code
will
did some
also
terrain
be
for the
them which
fourth
believe.
and fifth level, and we could
But
flesh
many
that out
shall
some
leave
more.
you, and deliver
Then we got to
many,
go
and
back,
will
and
talk
all the
beforehand
cool things that we
wonders,
added throughout the levels we could
neither be
populate them through the
premeditated.
previous
And
levels.
whatsoever shall be
You know,
given you
things
in
like the
that hour,
lamp
that
posts
say.
and lights and
For it is not
common
meat
elements
that
and
ye
stuff like
eat,
that. And
but the
kind
Holy
of get a
Ghost.
whole view of the
For the
5-level
brother
game.
shall betray the brother to
So
death, and the
for
father the son,
now,
and the children shall
I'm
rise up
gonna
against their
pull
parents,
out on this
and
for a
shall
little
cause
bit.
them to be put to
I'm
death.
gonna,
And
do
ye
some
shall be
searching
hated of
around to
all
see,
men for my name's
why,
sake.
my
And he that shall endure unto the
spline
end,
isn't
the same
operating
shall
properly. I
inherit
think
life.
maybe because I
But when ye shall
extracted it
see
from
the
my edge in a
abomination of
certain way.
desolation spoken of
Either
by
way,
the word of God,
it could be fixed. It's
standing
not a
where
big
it was
deal.
not, let
And,
him that readeth understand.
so
Then
guys,
let
God
them that
bless.
be in
I'll see
Judea
you guys
flee into the
later.
mountains, and let him that is on the house
Hopefully,
go down into
if
the
not
pit,
later this
and neither
afternoon,
enter
tomorrow.
therein to take
So
anything out of his
you
house.
guys take it easy.
And let
God
him that is in
bless.
the
This is
field
Nick.
not
We're
turn
going
back
out.
again for to take up his
And
garment.
yeah, I had some
Woe to them that are with
some of the
child,
Bible playing in the
and to them
background,
that
which is
give
pretty
suck in
cool.
those
I like
days.
that.
And pray
And
ye that your flight
let's
be
get back
not in the
to
winter, For
some
in those days shall be affliction such as
some
was
music
not
here.
from the beginning of the creation.
So if there's anything, guys, we'll see you in I'll see you in a little bit. Peace, and thanks for checking us out.